Say what? Say what?
I'm the hype man.
Welcome to Films in Black and White, everybody.
Welcome to Films in Black and White, everybody. How are you all feeling? We are so excited to be with you all today. It's been a manic Monday for all three of us, and we're just excited to, as Brian Roush puts it, jettison this knowledge, all of our day out, and talk about some Disney Expo announcements that came this last weekend. So we're excited to break that stuff down with you and really get into some of the big ones because there's some big ones in here. There's some cool things that are coming out of Disney that we got a preview of this weekend. But in order to do that correctly, and I would like to document for the first time in a long time, no weird name associated. I would like to kick it on down to a one Roush, aka Brian Roush.
Hello.
And Brian Roush, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. My name for our Patreon folks that are able to see our live stream, I almost put my name as Yaddle, but I felt like that was too deep of a cut for Star Wars, so I decided to go with Roush. I'll talk about Yaddle later, but yeah, Yaddle. Happy to be here. We're gonna talk about the important stuff tonight, folks, like D23. It's the critical components, and don't worry, you probably saw a bunch of stuff. We're gonna summarize it for you. We're gonna do all of that for you. You don't have to go hunt and peck for all these other things. We got it all here, so I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, and Brian, your Spider-Man hoodie is getting some love in the chat.
Oh my goodness, thank you.
Spider-Man hoodie. So,
thank you.
Yeah,
Roman Myers. You know how you can also compliment Brian Roush by joining our Patreon.
That's right.
That's all you got to do.
That's right.
Thank you, Roman.
Patreon.
But we also need to make sure that Marcus J23 Destin is invited into this space. Marcus, how you feeling, sir?
Feeling good. That J23 is not for Jordan 23. It is for just Jarrell, just me,
just you.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I got it.
I feel like he kind of owns the number 23. I've been thinking about that lately. If you see it walking around, I feel like you immediately associate the number 23 with Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
But,
You know what's weird? You know what's weird? In any like sport video game, whether it was like baseball or whether it was soccer or like football, it wasn't even like basketball stuff. I always picked the number 23. I don't know why. Not as
really,
homage.
Michael.
Not as an homage, Brian. I take that personally. Okay, like, I don't know why, but I always did. It wasn't in like a. I'm not a huge like basketball fan, but so I think
23 is a good number though. I mean, it looks good on a jersey.
I mean, 2, 3, it's sequential. It adds up to a prime number. I mean, like I get it.
That guy gets it.
100%.
No, I'm just here. You know, it's a good day, manic Monday, like you said, but I'm ready to goddamn pod. It's a lot of stuff to go over.
Yeah, we got a kind of a breakneck pace here to kind of get through.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, but it's been a good Monday for me as well. Again, busy. Things are popping and happening. Had some soccer practice this afternoon, but all in all, it was a great day. But you know, gentlemen, we really, like I said, need to kind of get into it. And so we're gonna kick it off with Catch That Quotable.
Yes,
yeah.
And for those of you who are just joining us, and this is your first sick beats, this might be your first. This might be your first episode listening. Roman Myers, one of our Patreon subscribers, has been sending us a quote and has said that for every time we get this correct, he's going to donate some money of his own money to a charity of our choosing.
Thank you, Roman.
And so we're very excited and appreciate the support, Roman.
Yes.
But
love you,
we
Roman.
do have a quote to get into. So, gentlemen, are you ready for this week's quote?
My mind and body are ready.
Yes.
All
I
right.
also am physically ready.
Okay. Be kind, for everyone is fighting a hard battle. And if you really want to see what people are, all you have to do is look.
Ooh, that's deep.
It's very deep.
Oh my gosh, I've seen this movie. And I don't know what movie it is.
I'm going to read it again, Brian. Be kind, for everyone is fighting a hard battle. And if you really want to see what people are, all you have to do is look.
Every time you say be kind, I immediately said and rewind. Be kind, rewind.
Yep.
That's all I got for you.
That's all I got. I'm not going to be any help on this quote
Nope.
whatsoever.
So what can I do to help jog your memory, Brian Rouse? Because
you had this visceral reaction. So
yeah.
Well, and I also stumbled onto a Twitter thread that was like best movie openings ever, and I'm pretty sure this was either discussed as an opening or a closing.
Okay.
So that's why it sticks in my memory a little bit.
Okay.
Definitely sounds like a closer, because all you have to do is look as the wide pan out.
It feels like go ahead.
No, I see that in my mind. I see it in my mind. I feel like, oh man.
Are we thinking romantic? Do we want to go for a hint? Because I can go for $8.
Yeah, I think we're gonna need a hint.
Yeah, this feels like it could be a kids movie. Like sneaky kids movie, but I'm not sure. So
not Spy Kids.
No, not just
not Spy Sneaky.
The off-brand of Spy Kids, Sneaky Kids.
Okay, Sneaky Kid. Oh, my favorite.
Sneaky Kids.
Roman, we know that you are watching, sir. So if you have a hint for us, okay. So the first thing he said is, "I will make my children watch this movie." Oh, sorry. I will make my children watch this movie. It's so good. Okay,
I see it now.
That doesn't help.
Is that the hint?
I hope not, because that
means that's the hint.
I feel like
his millions.
I just want to confirm. I just need a confirmation if that was the hint, because if so, I need to wallow in that a little bit, because that could be anything.
It really could.
It's 300.
I knew it's got to be a classic, right? I don't know.
Yeah, it has to be a classic. Okay, here's the hint. It's based off a book.
Okay.
So Roman will make his children watch.
I don't know why, but this for some reason has a Dr. Seuss vibe to it, and it feels like it might be Horton Hears a Who.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good. Oh, you know what? I like that movie.
Did Horton? Oh, okay. I have not seen this movie.
What's the story of Horton Hears a Who?
Horton Hears a Who is. It's the class of the thing. It's like Horton is an elephant, and with his big ears, he's the only one who can hear this tiny group of people on a plant, and everybody else is like, "Why are you carrying that around and protecting it? It doesn't matter." And he's like, "There are people on there, and people are people, no matter how small." And that's the thing he keeps saying over and over again. So there's part of me that's like, that's the moral of the story. I'm gonna read the quote again.
Yeah, read it one more
All right,
time.
let's go back to the source.
Because I don't think any. Yeah.
Be kind, for everyone is fighting a hard battle, and if you really want to see what people are, all you have to do is look.
I'm getting a high school vibe.
Be kind. Because everyone's fighting a hard battle. That feels a little bit too non-Dr. Seussy, like a little bit. Okay. You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
It feels like a little bit older. Yes. Be kind, because you never know.
Yes.
Yeah.
High School Musical 4, the musical.
Oh, Jesus.
The show.
The musical based on the show.
The show that the musical is based off of, that the show is based off of.
All
right.
I don't know.
I wonder.
I'm willing to
go with
anybody
guess. Wonder.
That's, you know what? I think any guess at this point in time.
Okay, he's giving
all of the actors in the movie. One of the actors in the movie was also in Hamilton.
Oh, God.
Motherfucker! I didn't watch Hamilton, so that doesn't.
Is it in the Heights?
No, one of. It is not Lynn.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm willing to.
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to go with Wonder. Wonder for some reason feels right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot more.
He also said we could individually guess. So
yeah, we might want to do the spread here.
Yeah, we might could spread the floor. So Doug saying Wonder.
I'm going to say Horton Hears a Who because I'm committed to it. Brian's going to say Wonder, I think.
Okay, Marcus has no guess. You say based off a book, and the first thing I think of is Harry Potter. So I know that this is not in Harry Potter. and he'll make his children watch this movie so it's kid friendly.
Yeah.
Right? Because I was like, I don't know, extremely loud and incredibly close, but I was like, that's not for kids. That's not really for
Like,
kids.
will he make children watch this movie when they're older, or make his kids watch the movie when they're
you know what I mean? 4 years old? Get in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make us guess. We have 30 seconds to figure out our guess.
Yeah,
we have spent a ton of time trying to figure this one out.
And you want us to do an impossible movie challenge?
Yes.
And you thought this shit was easy?
Yes, it's
not. Fellow Patreon member Chris Scholten has an idea for us, folks. So there's a preview of that, but we got to finish this. We can't even think about that.
Okay, so I'm gonna guess Good Will Hunting.
Okay.
If he does Goofy movie again, I will slap myself.
I think he did do a Goofy movie the last time.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Holy shit, Brian! This is Wonder.
Oh wow! Oh.
Holy shit, Brian! Look at you! Wow,
man!
Yeah, that's good.
Roman,
That's
that was
don't,
a pull.
Don't you dare sleep on Brian Roush because he will surprise you.
Yeah, he will.
Man.
He will.
Yes.
Brian, we love you, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh man, I'm just happy to be at the party. I mean, like that is such an obscure movie that I watched years and years and years ago. I haven't even read the book. Like truth be told, I would have not got this unless Roman had given us a clue that it was a book. Otherwise,
I did not know Wonder was based off of a book.
Also, did not know Wonder was based off of a book.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's yeah. Well, here we are. We did it, folks.
We did it, y'all.
We did it, y'all.
Play those mouth sounds. Wow. I do want
tickle my brains.
Mouth sounds for Brian. I do want to mention that we really appreciate Roman and his patronage for this activity. We are going to switch it up next week, and because Chris Scholten's, another Patreon subscriber, has given us his Chris Scholten's Impossible Movie Challenge, and we'll have to create a fun graphic for it. But he is going to donate $100 to a charity of our choosing. Should we get all 10 of his quotes correct? So he will send us 10 quotes. We will do one every week for the next 10 weeks. And if we get them all, it's $100 to a charity of our choosing. If not, I don't know if it's prorated or if there's a discount or what the deal is, but
a double deal,
I don't know.
5 or
yep. I don't know if the
4 for 7.
I don't know
what they're running at Arby's right now.
I don't know if the whammy's in play or not, but we'll have to make sure that we don't get any of those. But that is the game. So we will do that next week. And then we'll be back with some more quotes, I'm sure, between Roman and Chris as we kind of continue. So that is what we have on deck.
Y'all really paying to watch us lose, huh?
That's it, basically.
I just want to give a shout out to Roman. I know we'll be switching gears next week, and we'll probably come back. But Roman, you have given us some amazing clues, some amazing movies to guess. It's never been. I mean, let me just say this: it has been far better doing the movies that you suggest than having the three of us try to stump each other, and we're in the same wheelhouse. So this is great. This has been really enjoyable.
110%. 110%. But gentlemen, we have a very big slate of news to get to, and the ticker at the bottom, "We love you, Roman," is very much appropriate.
It's true.
But gentlemen, we are going to cover all of the announcements from D23, the D23 Expo that happened this weekend in. Still waiting on that coffee, Brian.
I do owe you coffee the next time I see you.
I think
Roman, I owe you coffee the next time. But you also be in a Keurig.
I'm not promised anything at this
point.
I did. I promised a t-shirt too.
Marcus is going to give him a t-shirt. Brian's going to give him a cup of coffee. But so for those that are not familiar, the annual D23 Expo happens in California, in Anaheim, and it is where Disney makes all of its announcements for everything that it has a hand in. So whether that is theme park news, whether that is video game news, whether that is Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, like all of the things that they do, they kind of have some announcements. So each one of us is going to cover a particular area of the expo. Each one of us is going to cover a particular area of the expo and kind of break down some of the big announcements out of that area. I am going to get us on started with some Sir Phyllis level Disney park announcements. So what some people may not know about myself is that I am a self-identified. I'm identifying now as a Disney adult when it comes to the theme parks. I thoroughly enjoy them. I appreciate what they are. I don't know what it is. I could not tell you. I didn't go to a theme park as a child, so this was something that I discovered as a full-fledged adult. And after having taken my
Jack Skellington tattoo.
Nope, get the fuck out of there with that. I don't need that. I don't need that. There will be no Jack Skellington on my body. I'm more of a Zero the Ghost Dog. No,
that's worse.
Somehow that's a deeper ref.
That's absolutely worse. But we did get some announcements regarding theme park news. Now, some of it's not going to be like super exciting. It's going to be more like character appearances. So here's what we got. So the first two that are kind of exciting to kind of talk about is that, and we'll start with Disneyland.
Let's do it.
So Disneyland is in Anaheim, and they made a couple of announcements. The first off is that the Incredible Hulk is going to start making character appearances at Disneyland, which is
interesting.
A strange choice, but it's exciting. It's exciting. He is going to be in his full like Endgame attire, and they got somebody who's in a big they worked with all the animatronics and costuming type stuff to make him look huge, which is exciting. And then the other character, it's interesting, not exciting, but it's interesting. Some people will be really jazzed about it. Other people like myself are going to be like, I
have questions about it whenever you
kind of a head scratcher.
Question point. Yeah. Whenever we get to the question portions of this part, let me know.
Doug, you should.
Yeah. The other thing that we have is that the Mandalorian is going to start making appearances in Batu, so in the Star Wars land section of things. Gentlemen, thoughts on character appearances? It's not really exciting, and not everybody gets jazzed by those. So, any particular thoughts or questions on that?
Mando's cool.
Mando's a no-brainer. Like that's awesome.
Mando 100%. I think that's dope that they're walking around. That's easy for me, right?
Oh yeah.
I feel like Hulk was weird, and here's why it was weird to me.
Yes, I agree.
One, why did you pick an in-game Hulk? And why a Hulk in general? Like the suit just looks a little off to me.
Yeah,
almost like I bought an inflatable suit online.
Yep.
So that's kind of where I'm at. It's not like I'm not excited. Like if I saw it, I'd dap it up or do whatever. But when I just saw the Hulk, he looked a little wonky. And I'm also wondering why they went with in-game Hulk instead.
I also have similar questions. I guess
you can't do a regular Hulk. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's why. It's like I think they know they couldn't do a good regular Hulk, like a regular Bruce Banner Hulk. So they're like, well, how do we lampshade this? And they're like, put a spacesuit on him. And they're like, okay,
like it's a full mask, and like he doesn't even wear the full in-game suit enough in the thing. So I just feel like maybe you wasn't the right character to do. That's just me.
I think the other thing is I think that it feels like this also could be like the material that they made the suit out of. They just couldn't figure out how to get it to look the right shade of green.
Right.
Like, it looks like we can't get it to look green enough in order for people to believe it's the Hulk.
Right.
So but we could do hands, and we could do like behind a visor because there's a tint. So let's do that. You're right about Mando. That's a fucking home run. Like that is so sick.
I mean, it looks spectacular.
Really cool. Yeah. All of the bounty hunter stuff that they're doing in Star Wars land at Disneyland and then also in Disney World is so cool. So that's maybe a separate pod, but that's really exciting.
Well, and the new Mando trailer also hinted at like more
for sure
Mandalorian bounty hunter.
Oh my gosh.
I guess a little bit in the trailer too. So I'm excited to see that. Star Wars is an easy sell to me. There's only a couple things you got to do to check those boxes with Star Wars for me.
I agree. It's 100%. It's so easy to please. Like,
Yep. Other things that are coming to Disneyland, they're moving Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway was something that debuted at Disney World. They announced that Disneyland's getting a version. They also announced there was a section of Disneyland and California Adventure called the San Francisco themed area. It's called Pacific Wharf, and they're updating this and making it a Big Hero 6 world now,
That's cool.
which is really, really cool.
That's cool.
And then in an effort to phase out the most racist ride on the face of the planet, Splash Mountain is finally getting its rebrand as Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So it will be rethemed to be Princess and the Frog, set to like open up and debut in 2024. So
how does everybody? I know I'm the black one asking this question, but how does everybody feel about them building I understand poetic justice. But to turn the racist ride into the black representation ride,
Marcus, okay. It kind of feels like Disney. Here's what it feels like. What happened? It feels like someone at Disney went to Wikipedia and was like, "Oh no, Song of the South is bad." And they're like, "Well, what do you do when you emotionally harm black people? Like, what do you do? Or like, how do we get out of this?" They're like, reparations." And they read reparations on Wikipedia, and they're like, let's do our version of that. So what this feels like to me is like Disney
Mickey Mouse reparations.
Yep.
Like
I'm not saying that's what it is.
No, it does feel like, to me, it feels like that. Like some people may be happy. Like if my grandparents went to the plantation that that their parents were owned at, and then built a house on top of it, I understand trying to take that back.
Yeah.
But this, I don't really have an opinion. It's one of those things like I'm right in the middle of like, I'll look at it and be like, and then I'm like, okay, but I get it.
And here's the other thing. I having ridden Splash Mountain recently, it's not like it's veiled, right? Like it's not like you get there and you look at it and you're like, no, this is subject to interpretation. Like you look at it and you're like, oh no, like this is and the problem is that I think, to be honest with you, Disney can almost say like, this is such a deep dive for us into our repertoire of animated features that you know what, we can do away with it. Because I don't think you can even watch this on Disney Plus. I cannot.
Did they take it? Did they take it down? Because at first they put the warning up there, right? Because they had the warning for the movie of like.
Brian's
I'll check on it right now.
But I'm pretty sure you couldn't even watch it on Disney Plus. So there's a part of me that's like, no, they're trying to move away from this as a part of their history,
as a whole.
And so they can say like, no, we need to update it to make it even something that is now. Will resonate with audiences that are going to be frequenting our attractions. So that's
I get removing things. I do have in certain situations. A part of me says don't completely bury it because you need to learn and know from your mistakes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, to bury it means you are just trying to remove it from your existence altogether. To me, sometimes it looks like that. But you also got to remember where you came from so you don't make the same mistakes.
Yep, 100%.
So I wouldn't lock it in a vault or just bury it in a sinkhole and then be like,
don't
all
do
right,
that.
Well, that didn't never happen. And it's like, no.
It is not on Disney Plus. I just confirmed via an IndieWire.
Well, they just trying to, they're going to clean that whole thing. If anybody going to clean some shit up, and we'll get to this in the Marvel thing. Me and Doug kind of talked about it this weekend.
Okay.
Disney's making like this full circle cleanup. I believe.
Okay.
In different areas, and I'll kind of remind me.
All right.
That.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about that.
The other thing that I want to mention, which is ride oriented, is Epcot is going to complete its next phase, which is going to be a Moana ride or a Moana section. I mean, it's called the Journey of Water. It's going to be kind of cool.
That's nice.
So, yeah. And then the last thing that's relevant to our interests is that California Adventure and Disneyland Paris are the only two places that have any type of Marvel portion to them. And California Adventure Adventure Campus is going to get a new ride. They said that they have not quite figured out what it's going to be, but it's going to be a multiversal battle where each time you ride it, there are different heroes that are going to be battling.
That's cool.
they said
King
King Thanos. It's not just Thanos, but it's King Thanos in this one. So it could be a different set of heroes every time. And then the other thing is that they're also going to be doing some type of Wakandan themed attraction as well. So they're adding a whole section of Avengers Campus with a brand new ride, which I'm absolutely here for and sounds dope as hell.
Yeah.
So
that alternating heroes in a ride, man, like technology has come a long way.
I mean,
because
I
don't know if anybody ever takes a step back to like really look at the ability to do that is incredible.
Yeah.
Like, you'll ride that ride and never, and rarely, I'm assuming it'll be a rotation, but it'll still tell the same story.
Yeah.
With all of these different characters that Marvel owns. And that's just kind of, I also thought Thanos would be a long forgotten name.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Apparently he's going to be around for a long time. So
I think a lot of people I think he will stay relevant just because so many people got into Marvel because of the Infinity Saga and that whole 10 leading up to it that they can't leave it behind.
I hope Kang is as big because
I hope so too.
Well, and I want to say, if you're into that, there's a really good documentary series called Behind the Attraction on Disney Plus, and they talk about like Star Tours, like kind of what you're talking about, Marcus, of like at the time they're like, we want someone to have a new experience every time, and like it's wild how in depth they go into making these like 3-minute rides. So plug for that.
And the other thing that's cool is that that's what they did with the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind ride, is that each ride has a soundtrack that is themed in Guardians of the Galaxy, and apparently you can ride it twice in a row and not have the same song twice. So like you can ride it, and then they even said that for Christmas the entire ride will be different. So they will have it'll be different songs, and it'll be some different moments based on the season. And so it's pretty incredible. We are going to, and I've committed to this to the gentleman, that if we ever make it big and people, we have some ability to do some films in black and white on location, the three of us will be going to Avengers Campus and doing a films in black and white on location from there. So
subscribe to that Patreon and tell your friends to subscribe to the Patreon.
Yes,
help our dreams come true.
I mean, Guardians. I completely forgot there's a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special coming.
There is this year. There is.
I totally forgot.
Yep. Last thing I'm going to say. So I'm going to pivot. Any questions about rides or character appearances or anything like that, gentlemen? No. Okay. I wanted to touch on it just because it's kind of neat, but so let's pivot on over into Disney and Pixar, and I'm going to kind of I'm going to read all of the things that have been announced, and then I'll kind of mention the ones that I'm excited about, and then I'm curious to see what you all said as well. So we officially got a trailer for Hocus Pocus 2 and Disenchanted, which is the Enchanted sequel.
Yes.
Peter Pan and Wendy got announced, which is going to be a Disney Plus feature as well. So that's the other thing that I think is interesting. Disney Plus is getting Hocus Pocus 2, it is getting Disenchanted, and it is getting Peter Pan and Wendy. So all three of those things are going to Disney Plus.
Good Lord.
They announced Mufasa, the Lion King. So this is going to be a Mufasa the Lion origin story for those of you that were really curious about how he did that. They also announced, and we finally got a trailer for The Little Mermaid. Wait, we will talk about it. Everybody wait. We're going to talk about it. And then moving on over to Pixar, we got an announcement for the Disney Pixar movie Elemental, which seems pretty neat. Elio, which seems like a cool story. These are just announcements, so we didn't get any trailers for these. Inside Out 2 got announced. Iwaju got announced, and I'm going to touch on this one. I'm excited about. Pretty cool about. Strange World got another trailer exclusively to D23. That's going to be their Thanksgiving movie. And then lastly, they got a announcement for the movie Wish, which is sort of like Where the Wishing Star that's featured. This is the star that inspired all of the movies, I guess, is where it came from. So I don't know.
I'm like,
that's a Disney move.
I mean, like,
very
I can
much
go
so.
along with almost any origin story, but like the moment I read the headline for this, it was like, it's about the star in the Disney logo. I was like, no, that's a no for me.
I was like, that's a hard no for me, dog. I'm good. Yeah. So things that I'm excited about that got announced. I want to touch on Iwaju. So Iwaju is a collaborative movie between
Mm.
Disney Animation and a Pan-African animation studio called Kugali. That is, and the movie is supposed to take place in Laos. The reason why I like this is because as much as it might be a money grab and whether it's genuine or not, I do appreciate when artists, and I look at animation as an art, I do appreciate it when artists collaborate and reach out to smaller studios to say, let's bring your voice into this and give them a seat at the table. Again, intention is a whole other conversation, but I appreciate the effort to actually bring them, because I don't even think I could have told you that there was a studio in Africa that made animation. So I think it's really kind of cool that they're doing that. So that's the first one. So
well, the thing is, when it comes to that, I feel like you have to start somewhere. So regardless of if it's a money grab from the higher ups, if the people that are putting this thing out have genuine intentions of creating something that represents a community, a group of people, a whole ethnicity, like then that's step one. You know what I mean? And then from step one, you inspire a whole lot of people to make step 2, 3, 4.
100%. The other thing that I'm really excited for is that this story elemental seems really cool. It's about like a flame elemental and a water elemental that fall in love, but they actually like can't touch because they'll I mean they're elementals, they'll die. So but that seems like a cool story that I'm kind of needed about. The thing I don't give a shit about is Hocus Pocus 2.
What a twist.
I mean,
ironically
Doug,
enough,
you are not the target audience.
I don't give a shit about Hocus. Go ahead.
I halfway agree with you, because I was a big fan of Hocus Pocus, the original Hocus Pocus. I just feel like, what's the time limit? Is there a cutoff point for recreations? I don't know. I'm just asking.
Well, no.
This is a nostalgia grab.
Blade Runner. I mean, you know.
Well, Blade Runner is a different story, right? Hocus Pocus 2, you could have done that or not done that, and my world would not have changed much.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, you're right, Brian. Holiday themed movies, I am not the target audience for. Like, because of my hard stance on when and how and where they should be celebrated. I am not. If this movie comes out September 30th, I will boycott it on principle alone, because it's not October 1st. Like, it's fine. Like, I recognize the ridiculous of my rigor. Like, I get that it's silly.
It's a cult classic, though. It is a cult classic for so many people, including my wife, who like immediately watched the trailer and was like, I can't wait for this to come out. And I was like, that sounds nice for you. Like, I'll probably watch it. Like, who am I kidding? Like, of course I'm gonna watch it.
And there's my biggest issue about why I don't care is like, the original 3 witches I can get, like, and I can get behind. They came back again. That's fine. If they're witches, they come around, they come and go. But in the trailer, I feel like I saw a 4th witch, and I'm like, I gotta learn some other motherfucker's name too. Like, can't I just, if this is a nostalgia grab, just let it be that. So
there's also the reintroduction of, so as all Disney movies do, you do the Chip and Dale stuff, you do the sequels, Pinocchio this weekend. You watch the second really to boost the first. Because if you watch the second, you automatically get more views on whatever the original is.
I feel like maybe they're trying to introduce it to a new audience, which I get it. I respect it from a business standpoint. It's just like I don't know. If you want to see those characters again, that's great. But I kind of got the vibe the first time around. Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the story. I don't need more. I know other people do.
They were
cool.
They were lost in the early 90s. They're gonna be fucking doomed in the 2020s. Like, there is no hope for them.
I mean,
I do want to spend a little bit of time, and I do want to say that I want to talk about the Little Mermaid, because I think probably the biggest announcement of the weekend, for better or for worse, was the Little Mermaid. And there are a couple of reasons. One, the lead actress, Halle Berry, I believe is how, it looks like Halle, but it's definitely Halle.
It's Halle. It's
Yeah, I think
Chloe
it's
and
Haley.
Halle. It's
Halle.
Halle.
Yeah. So Halle
Halle
Berry,
Bailey.
Halle
Halle
Bailey,
Bailey.
Halle
Yeah.
Bailey.
Yep.
Goddamn girl got pipes. Like she is
Oh my
like
gosh.
she can if that's
Incredible.
I am chills for that song.
Always
It was
is.
incredible.
Yes.
Pause.
And I'm
Does anybody know who her protege is?
sure don't.
Nope.
Okay. She and her sister, which they're not twins, but they're close in age, are signed to Beyonce
Oh.
here it is.
since
There
they
it
were
is.
like younger,
okay.
and
There
now
it
they're
is.
at this
Yep,
more
there it
mature
is.
age. So
Yeah.
yes, Chloe. Yeah. Yep.
So I'm genuinely excited to hear again. Marcus, you said something in the chat that like the Little Mermaid was never like your movie, not to out you to the world,
No,
but that it was
yeah,
never
yeah.
your movie. I would say
Uh-huh.
I lean more that way than I do the original. I lean more that way than I do over here. It's a classic and I appreciate it for it being such.
Yes, absolutely.
But the songs, the only one I ever really liked was Under the Sea.
Yep.
So that was the
Oh,
only song that I
man.
really
It was the
liked.
only one I ever remember.
Yeah.
I mean, I look,
I
Little
sing
Mermaid.
it in a
is
broken Jamaican accent in my house. So yeah.
Under the sea.
Yep,
You can
yep.
never. I mean, I'm not even trying to do an accent. You're just trying to
You
like
just
get
have
the
to sing it like that.
intonation
Yeah.
of the
Under the sea.
crab. Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and it doesn't. It never works for me. But Little Mermaid was absolutely one of those films for me growing up that
Okay.
I watched on repeat. I can't tell you why, but I always loved it. And obviously it has its problematic elements in the animated form.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was just one of those movies I always watched. I always loved the music, and I'm amped to see it in live action. This teaser is like the teaser of teasers. It was like maybe 5 seconds of Halle Berry I want to say
Bailey. Yeah.
Halle Bailey. Thank you. Sorry.
It's like the tail end of Part of Your World.
Yeah, like it was maybe 5-6 seconds, and but I got chills too. Like there was almost nothing in this teaser other than the dark ocean, and I mean, I can't wait. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah.
Now, I will say I am a smidge concerned, not because of like the CGI.
I mean, I get it.
I get the same concern for the same reason that I never watched the remake of The Lion King. I don't want you to take the soul out of that movie and put it live action and have everything look very Uncanny Valley-ish. So there's a part of me that was worried about that. Now it may not be a fair critique without having actually seen it yet, but I do want to say that's my fear.
There's something to be said about this obsession that Disney feels like they need to have live action like updates. Roman, we see you. Yes, we also flipped out when that trailer.
My wife also freaked out.
Yeah.
You know, like there's just I don't know the obviously it's making money. I understand that.
Yeah,
of course.
But the artistic, like the vision for it, like you could do anything you want. You already have the animated, locked, sealed, like loaded. You're good. Like that's always going to be animated. So why not take some risks or like, you know, I don't know.
And
with like and color, like make it colorful or make it over the top or like whatever.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know. It just feels like someone's being held hostage and they're like, I want you to remake all of these movies as lifelike as possible. And if they're not as lifelike as possible, like this bird gets it. I don't know. I don't know.
And the other part of this, Brian, is fucking Pinocchio. People are saying it is straight up dog
I've
shit.
heard a lot of people
it
say
is
not
good.
One person in my social circle that started it and then did not finish it.
I haven't even risked it yet. So, and I know that my kids would watch it.
It's on my list.
So yeah,
probably means we're gonna watch it soon. Okay, got it.
Yep, basically.
Yep.
I feel like mixed reviews. One, here's how I'm feeling. The black dollar, I'm gonna call it now.
Okay.
The black dollar will prove itself for this movie. The same way that when Black Panther came out, the black dollar showed up too.
Yeah.
Right. But of course, money is green at the end of the day.
Ooh, yeah, it is.
And at the end of the day, Disney knows they're gonna get a bag pretty much regardless. Because the critics are gonna watch it and the lovers are gonna watch it.
And the
Yeah.
company is going to look like it is standing up and bringing highlight to voices in a time in which it's being criticized for not.
And because it's so harshly criticized and people see it,
Mm-hmm.
and people are first of all, if you are soft, don't read the comments. Never read the comments.
Never read.
Put a pin
the
in that.
comments.
Put a pin in it. I'm coming
Just
back.
don't read. Just don't even read it. As soon as I saw it, I said, sometimes I'm smart enough not to read the comments, and sometimes I'm dumb enough to read the
them.
comments.
Yep.
Right. But I feel like the Black Dollar is going to show up to support. Is it Halle? Now I feel like
Halle.
it's Halle.
Halle
It's
Bailey.
Halle
really,
Bailey.
Halle Bailey. I feel like that they are going to come out to support Halle Bailey.
Mhm.
One, she's talented as fuck, and it will not be denied.
I mean,
100%.
yeah, it is.
Like, I really feel like she may even win some type of award
I
from
could
this
see the
movie.
song. I could see the song getting an Academy Award based on
absolutely
like,
get it
yep.
nominated. Absolutely.
So Melissa McCarthy had already said in an interview that she was bawling her eyes out while she heard her singing this song on set.
That's right. Melissa McCarthy's fucking Ursula.
Oh
And
my
I forgot about
gosh.
that. I forgot
That was
Oh
a
my
snippet I wanted
gosh.
to see. That was a snippet I wanted to see.
God
personally.
damn. I would
I
love to see
forgot.
that. Oh, I forgot about
and
that.
I feel like Melissa McCarthy will do a great job because she's not so
She's silly
evil.
enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's silly enough. So
Yeah.
I just want to say, I feel
She's
like the Black Dollar is going to show up. I'm gonna say that now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, there's going to be a lot of haters, and there's going to be a lot of racists, and there's going to be a lot of just a bunch of bullshit. There's so many people on fucking TikTok. This is scientifically not possible, bitch. This is a mermaid.
It's
Like,
a
what are you
mermaid.
talking about?
Yep. Just very quickly, if I
You've
may,
seen a mermaid before.
if all of you will
God.
indulge me for a minute. Look,
He's on the soapbox, folks.
look. I need all of you to listen to me for a minute, okay? I want to go over some things that are not real.
Tell him, white man.
Elves, not real. Hobbits,
Yeah.
not real.
Superheroes.
Superheroes, straight up, not real. Don't try and stop a train. Your ass gonna get crushed.
Please don't.
And finally, mermaids. So look, y'all, we can't tell you what color they are because they don't fucking exist. So you need to stop. You need to stop saying that mermaid should be white because that mermaid doesn't exist. So it's just knock it off. And if you come at me with it's not original to source material, do you understand? Do you understand the source material? In the original German version of Cinderella, her foot doesn't fit and it lops her toes off.
Oh,
Let's
yeah, you just
not
cut them
go-
off.
Let's not go back to the source material as the thing we need to pay homage to. It was used to terrify children to be obedient. Knock it off. It's bullshit and it's horseshit and it needs to stop. She is a phenomenal talent. She's got the pipes to play the role. Who gives a shit? Like at this point in time, I'm happy there's representation. At the end of the day, that's what matters is that there's representation. But fuck, we got to stop this.
That's my bestie, y'all. Look, you got that shit off.
No, it's all facts.
Stop it so
Stacks
bad.
on stacks. Facts on stacks.
One thing I want to stop hearing is you said source material. The other thing that I'm replacing with I'm racist is another woke film. If somebody says woke one more goddamn time, if you say all in the comments, here goes Disney with another woke piece. Just say you are sexist, misogynistic, transphobic, homophobic, racist. Just put it in there.
Yeah,
just put it in there. Roman Myers.
I'm pretty sure it is. I'm very certain that it is.
Roman commented, "Isn't the source material for the Little Mermaid horrifying too?" And I don't know. I don't know.
Somebody explained it on TikTok. I got to find the video.
Yeah,
the original source material. I think that the mermaid was green and it's a siren. And it's something else, like something gets cut off or her throat or something like that.
What I heard, I think somebody I followed said that at the end she does, like, I think she melts because she becomes one with the sea. That's all that I can remember from that explanation, is that she becomes one with the sea. Wow. So yeah, it can't be good. And the other thing is that, like, look, unless Sebastian the Crab shows up to do Under the Sea while wearing a Black Lives Matter t-shirt, like I don't think that the movie is capable of being woke. Like, what message is being sent by saying this is an African-American woman who can play the role? We thought she was the best fit, so she got it. Like, I don't understand.
Like, it just goes to show you that like people of color or people that do not, if you don't fit into this really, really nicely, tightly labeled box, like just existing is offensive to people.
Yeah.
And like, it's ridiculous. And it's really dumb. We have to keep talking about it. We shouldn't have to keep talking about it, but hey, Haley Bailey, if you're listening, you're probably not, but we are rooting for you. We are 100%. Stoked about. We are 3 grown men rooting for the Little Mermaid movie. Yep, so 100%. That's where we're at.
Yep. Okay, here's a couple facts real quick. The original Little Mermaid is tortured by oysters. In order to get to the sea, she has to suffer through 8 oysters attaching themselves to her tail. And it's, quote, "Pride must suffer pain," is her grandmother's sharp rejoinder when she complains. 2, her older sisters sing about the joys of drowning sailors. 3, mermaids don't have souls. 4, once she's human, the mermaid has to either get married or die. 5, going human feels like she's getting perpetually cut up by knives. 6, the prince is a patronizing jerk who treats her like a literal pet. This is from the original. Text.
No soul.
Horrifying.
She doesn't get the dude and has to dance at his wedding. She can only avoid dissolving into sea foam if she kills the love of her life.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
The happy ending is purgatory. Also. So,
yep. So let's
enjoy that.
So let's not with the source material.
Yeah.
So, but
kiss my ass.
But gentlemen, that is all of the Disney parks and Disney and Pixar announcements.
Nice.
I know you two would like to cover Marvel and Star Wars respectively. So whoever would like to go next would be fantastic.
Brian, you want to go?
Sure.
Right,
I'll go. We'll leave the fantastic news for Marcus.
Oh, so no, you got fantastic news.
I mean, hey, I'm trying to be a little clever here with our transition. So, all right. So the Star Wars panel happened Saturday of D23 on the 10th, and I'm just gonna give a quick rundown of basically everything they talked about, and then I'm just gonna talk. I figured I'd just pick 1 or 2 things for us to talk about in depth, because as an overall like summary of the Star Wars panel, to me, there was not a whole lot to chew on. There were some good like teasers and trailers, but a lot of this we kind of sort of already knew. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that Star Wars, just based on this panel, looks so different even 1 or 2 years ago. There's not a single movie announcement in here. Not Rian Johnson's trilogy, not Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron, which I may or may not be watching like a hawk. Not even Taika Waititi's Star Wars film. That is not, none of those were talked about. None of those were like even really put on a platform. So I think that's interesting. We don't have to talk about it a whole ton, but definitely very clear that Star Wars Disney is moving towards just all TV all the time. That is where they're finding their success.
I like it though.
So we got a new Andor trailer. This is coming out in a week. So this was essentially like, you're going to watch it anyway, but here's some more footage.
In case you needed another reason to.
Right. We got the Mandalorian season 3 trailer, which is like also one of the most teaser trailers I've ever seen. So. The first half of it is stuff we've already seen. So we got some Starfighter action. We got some Bo-Katan. We got some Armorer in there. So
looks
I'll probably watch it again.
Potentially a sequence from Mandalore in there.
Possibly. Like if you would have told me 3 years ago that Star Wars was going to release a show that somehow like theme weaved protect the children, dealing with your religious trauma, and cowboys into one coherent story, I would have laughed in your face. But here we are. I would have
called you a liar.
So here we are. Mando Dad. He's got some stuff to figure out.
Still hanging in there, which is 2 years ago. I think I said on this podcast, I can't see this show lasting this long. And here we are.
Yeah.
Oh man. So we had that Tales of the Jedi, which is going to be an anthology series. All the episodes are dropping at once on October 26th. This was probably the most tangible news that they that they had. which I think is going to be a lot of fun because it's Dave Filoni, who you may remember from the Clone Wars and Rebels. He's the showrunner there. He also did Avatar: Last Airbender, so pretty well known animated showrunner. And I feel like his material works best in tight, compressed story arcs. There's a limit. There's only six shorts in this anthology.
Yeah, perfect.
Absolutely playing to their strengths. We don't need a Star Wars, Clone Wars season 3 in our hands here. We don't need that.
No, we don't need that at all.
And I think what's really cool is half the episodes center on Count Dooku, the other half focus on Ahsoka. I think this is a really good format.
Oh yeah,
I'm really excited for it. And then the other two, the last 3 things I'll talk about here. The Bad Batch is another animated series, which Filoni has a hand in. It got delayed to January. They didn't say it was delayed, but there was a date floating out there that it was going to premiere in the fall. So I don't know what's going on with that. My assumption would be COVID delays, but I mean, basically, you're going to have Star Wars pretty much every week starting in like next week. Starting mid-September 2022. Like you're going to have Star Wars every week, whether it's Andor, whether it's Tales of the Jedi or Bad Batch. You're going to have something almost every week, which is wild.
And it's a 2-episode premiere for the new season of Bad Batch too, right? I think, Brian?
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be fun. And then we have Ahsoka, and they had like just one image, which you can't see anybody, and it's a shout out to Rebels. So Ahsoka, they're doing it.
Yeah,
it's coming out.
They're doing it.
They also had the casting announcement for Ezra for people that are familiar with Rebels, the Rebels TV show.
Yep.
I need to find the name here, but essentially, Iman Esfandi, he will be playing Ezra. I don't know him from a whole lot, but we have our live action Ezra. So if you want to fully enjoy Ahsoka, now's a great time to start watching Rebels. Because I think it's going to lead directly into that.
I think you're probably right.
And then lastly, we had a Willow trailer for anybody 90s fantasy nerds that watched Willow. We got a Willow trailer. Well, it came out in 1988, but I feel like I only knew about it in the 90s as a kid. Anyway,
that legend. Yep.
Those are like the major headlines. There's also a Star Wars High Republic Jedi preschool show that's going to happen. That's happening. And then Jude Law's show called Skeleton Crew, had a still released, but we don't know much more than that. So that's pretty much in a nutshell all the Star Wars news. Again, I think the biggest news here is that there was no movie news. Yeah, absolutely a total tone shift for Disney. We're gonna get way more TV stuff. So, but yeah, was there anything from Star Wars that excited you, gentlemen?
Tales of the goddamn Jedi, more Mace Windu. I know that it's not. I know that it's not based around Mace, but I do like this idea of seeing more of Count Dooku and his story, and Mace being involved in that, because they mention it briefly of like, oh, who trained you when you, blah, 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 and I just think that it's incredible. I don't know if they do this in Star Wars this way, but I will remember a line that is said in the main trilogies or the main movies. And then they'll make a whole story, like they'll include that in the story or make a whole story behind it. Tales of the Jedi is the one I'm super duper excited about because I liked Star Wars Visions.
Oh, I love
that idea
Visions.
of the separated
Visions
short.
Was awesome.
Visions was amazing. So I'm kind of feeling the same vibe here.
Yeah. I think for me, I'm particularly excited for The Mandalorian. I'm excited about. That one gets me pretty pumped. I mean, how could you not though? Like, I think the other thing though is I'm very curious to see what they do with it, because the feeling I got from the show, the feeling that I got from the footage that they released is that I feel like we know the decision Grogu makes. Like,
I thought I was the only one.
Because that felt like a cliffhanger, like at the end of Boba. By the way, Book of Boba Fett. That felt like a cliffhanger at the end of Boba
Chapter 2. Or season 2.5. Yeah.
The Mandalorian.
Was that Book of Boba Fett?
1. Yes.
Yes. Skywalker.
And so there was a part of me that there's part of me that's like, okay, so what happens to him now? And I'm sort of like, because that for me, I was always chasing that relationship of him becoming a Jedi, or at least exploring it more. So if that is just done, I'm curious to see what they do with that relationship. So it's cool though. Like I'm excited to see what they go. Again, Tales of the Jedi look awesome.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I don't care about Andor. I think Andor makes me nervous because you can get really lost in Star Wars politics like really easily.
I mean,
and so I want to I hope that it has enough of like the spy espionage stuff to not be so political that it's shut. And it's not because I won't enjoy it. It's because I know that there are fans who won't and who will like destroy it on social media.
I'm fine using this time of us talking about Star Wars to say that I think Andor is exactly going to be that, Doug. Like I fully, honestly, 100% based on the interviews that they've done and everything that's been released, I really feel like there's going to be some people that watch this show and they're going to be like, wait a minute. The Republic, these bad guys are based on the Republicans, and it's going to totally like catch people out of like left field. And I can't wait to have these conversations of like, hey, so the original Star Wars was based on the Vietnam War, and you had rebels in a jungle, and the Emperor was based on Nixon, and these are all in interviews 30 years ago. And so I feel like there's going to be this weird schism, but I also feel like it's going to be a hot or cold thing. I think it's only going to last for 2 weeks. And then some people are going to be like, oh, I'm not going to watch that woke trash Andor. And then I feel like other people are going to really embrace like, okay, like some of this stuff is familiar and I feel the same, or like, I see the parallels, and maybe that will inspire some people maybe to act locally, think globally, all that good stuff. So I was talking with Marcus a little bit about this in the group chat. I 100% think that's going to happen. So
I think you're right.
I didn't know that about the Nixon stuff. This is my first time hearing it, and all I could do is smile because of the amount of people that complained about keep politics out of my Star Wars and all of this other, like I forgot what show it was, but
the books, the books really get into it. Like I mean, some of the stuff like that I read that Brian turned me on to specifically. What was it? Yeah, the Chuck Wedding one. Basically Nazi hunters, but put them in space. A lot of that. There's a lot of politics in that. So I mean, he's totally directly based on Richard Nixon, and like it's always been political, like, and hilarious. I feel like that's the part people miss. So I'm at least excited to have those conversations. But Doug, I agree. That's going to be like the first 2 weeks if you look at the hashtag on Twitter or TikTok. I that sounds like something I might do. Is I don't want to hear not my Star Wars. I'm going to hide that hashtag.
Oh, that's totally going to happen. I think
not my Ariel too.
I think the last thing I'll like say with all the Star Wars news here is like how expected a lot of it was, and it's kind of, I don't know, for me it's kind of refreshing. We didn't like, it's fine, like it's okay. There's a lot of stuff coming, and we're all going to be getting it in 2023. Like Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Bad Batch. Like 2023 is going to be a good year for Star Wars.
Yeah, I agree. I like the route of more Star Wars on TV. It feels more easily accessible.
Yes.
If that makes sense. Like, it's more like I can. You know what I mean? Not I want to. The movie always feels like I got to wait for this big cinematic moment. But what if I just want casual Star Wars to enjoy?
Yeah.
And I'm not reading the books and stuff. So
I
do like that.
Yeah, I think it's also the fans sort of want that too. Like fan Star Wars, they want to like eat, sleep, and breathe it as much as possible. So this definitely, Brian. That's not
I mean it's true. Like having weekly Star Wars, it's, I don't know, it's just kind of weird. Like it makes me feel, and I don't know if anybody else can relate to this or other fans, but it's like you used to have to wait so long for a Star Wars movie.
Yes,
and now it's like I get to wake up on a Wednesday and know like by the end of the night I get fresh new Star Wars piped into my TV that, and it's the same childhood, like, oh boy, and that's pretty rad.
I'm the same with Superman. Like I would, when Smallville was on, I feel like I could get my weekly dose of Superman. Like, and Superman is such a big character that you had to wait for the movie, except for Dean Cain, Superman, and all of these other versions, right?
Right.
But they didn't. It seemed like Superman was kind of untouchable for a long time.
Yeah.
But then,
Tell me about it.
you know, then we started getting the Arrowverse and Flash regularly every week. So I like this. I like this a lot.
100%. Cool. Anything else from the Star Wars beat, Brian?
That is all I have from a galaxy far, far away.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, turning it over to the multiverse,
man.
Marcus
Got
J. Marvel had some pretty big announcements.
Got
as
some
well as
bombs.
Some
Marvel.
other little hints here and there. So do you want to give us a rundown on some of the things from the Marvel panel?
And that's a for show right on. So Marvel had a lot of different announcements. Some games, some video games, some TV shows and stuff like that too. I was trying to find the post that I had that talked about the video games. I'm gonna try to remember off the top of my head. There was a Spider-Man 2 game. I know that Spider-Man 2, the sequel, to the newer Spider-Man. There's a Wolverine game that was announced earlier this year. There's also Marvel Midnight Suns.
Yep.
There's also a Black Panther Captain America
World War II game.
World War II game with 4 different playable heroes. It seems like, not just Cap and it's not T'Challa. It's his. Apparently it's his granddad or his dad.
I think that's right.
I have a lot of questions. Yeah,
I also have questions.
Yeah, and so there was a couple other things announced too as well in there too. But let's start with movie. Well, let's start with Marvel Properties MCU.
Man, that's a lot. The image that Doug just put on the screen. There's 12 things, 11 things, or Marcus 11 things. Jeez.
It's 11. So let's just start at the top. They showed some new material for Wakanda Forever. They showed like some new trailer stuff, and funny enough, Wakanda Forever is also going back into reshoots. So
that's kind of expected, right?
I think so. Doug sent a video in the TikTok that they're rumored to possibly be casting Dr. Doom, is possibly with some of the reshoots and stuff like that, but that he could be involved. It's rumored that he is pulling the strings behind everything with Namor and Atlantis. And
listeners, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced yet.
Marcus, did you see who the casting rumor was for that?
Who was it?
Henry Cavill was the casting rumor for that.
Was he really?
That was the casting rumor.
They're casting him.
I don't believe it at all, but that was the rumor.
Everything.
Oh my gosh.
Chris Scholten says, gotta go, but quick note, the $10 donation applies to every quote submitted, not just mine. So you guys have a chance to double up on the donation.
Oh my
gosh. Challenge from Chris.
Shouts out
Thank you,
to
Roman Myers. We love you, Roman, you know?
We're gonna break a lot of hearts during that challenge.
No, you all believe
and they're gonna
us.
be like softball quotes too. I just know it.
Yeah. So shout out to Chris Scholten and shout out to Roman Myers.
Yes, 100%. Thank you for supporting us.
They showed some new Wakanda Forever trailer, Wakanda Forever, which we knew that was going to happen. And so I heard the new footage is just as good as what was already released. I like the idea that they're not trying to release too much information and kind of just letting everybody sit and soak in it a little bit. I mean, Ryan Coogler and Kevin Feige were on stage to talk about Ironheart because Ironheart ties directly into Wakanda Forever. She's actually, Riri Williams is in Wakanda Forever, and I'm pretty sure that'll lead. And they basically were saying that this Ironheart is going to talk about the technology versus magic aspect of the world. And because they have the Red Hood, who is going to be the main villain in there, and it's also rumored that Dr. Doom is also controlling him as well with Namor and all that, pulling all these strings for these random villains. Jesus. We don't know. I'm just telling you what some of this is rumor, some of this is facts.
It's because they're seeing my face, listeners. That's why they're acting this way.
Yes.
Maybe.
We don't know. I've been wrong before. We don't know
anything.
Yeah. Ant-Man 3 Quantumania, the things that they said about that film was that this film is more serious than the past 2 Ant-Man and the Wasp films. And it's rumored that Kang is holding Cassie hostage and that he has to go get her. And we will see a, first of all, comic accurate Kang, except without the blue face.
That's what I heard too.
What?
And MODOK also maybe, so he'll be wearing the suit, but he will not have the blue face.
It does, and it does sound like we were all worried back when Bill Murray was announced that he was playing MODOK. That does not seem like that is the case. He's cast in some other role, but yeah.
And it takes place in the quantum realm, and it sounds like it's a heist movie. I'm calling him Sam. Ant-Man has calling him Sam. What the fuck?
Because the Falcon.
Sam. Yeah. Anyway, Ant-Man has to go on a heist for Kang, who's holding his daughter hostage. That seems to be the plot. Werewolf by Night. I really liked that
Oh,
trailer.
yeah,
Can we like pit stop this? Because that
For
was
sure.
awesome.
that was
For
fucking
sure.
sweet. That looked
Um,
really cool, and there's some really cool Easter eggs in there too.
It's a lot of Easter eggs that you really got to know.
You gotta watch.
You
pay
got to read
attention
some
to.
comics to watch and rewatch the trailer a couple
Oh
times.
my
But
gosh.
how they did it was basically they did this old school throwback. Here's a special, and the
Mhm.
entire trailer is in black and white.
Yep.
And you get this, you get this loose plot. It really reminds me of this old school scary movies, like the old school
Mhm.
black and white scary movies.
Like
Um,
almost Grindhouse, almost
Oh yeah.
like kind
Yeah.
of vibes, but like CBS, like Sunday
Yes.
night movie. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Perfect.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
That's actually perfect. And
Okay.
and Kevin Feige said that this is going to be dark and scary.
Love that.
Yeah.
It's a Halloween special.
Yeah. But I think, when we think Marvel, like, the question that keeps coming up is how scary can Disney really be? And I don't know a lot about Werewolf by Night. So I don't know if we want to pit stop here or do we want to keep going and come back?
I mean, we can keep going. I just want to take a beat because I was surprised and it was awesome. Like, it just totally
great.
caught me by
Yeah.
surprise, and it became easily one of the things I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah.
Werewolf by Night was like a serial run in the like mid 80s where they did that, and they actually followed it around, and they actually painted him as the protagonist, like trying
Right.
to escape people trying to capture him and kill him because they were terrified of him because he was a
course.
werewolf. Classic werewolf story. It's actually where Moon Knight was first introduced. He's hired as a mercenary to hunt the werewolf down.
That's right. That comic cover is in one of the episodes of
Oh
Moon Knight.
wow.
Yeah.
I think when you scan the
His
QR
first
code in one of the
appearance.
episodes. Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty dope.
Mhm.
The next one is Secret Invasion. Now, this was very espionage type vibes. Nick
Mhm.
Fury is back. He's apparently been off world for years.
A
That's
very
what it said in
long
the
time.
trailer. A very long, and he looks battered and bruised, and looks like Nick Fury is trying to stop a Skrull invasion. Also, Rhodey, War Machine, Don Cheadle is also in this movie.
Yeah.
He seems to be like a big part of this series too, as well.
Yeah.
And it said that this will lead directly into Armor Wars, is what Don Cheadle said.
Oh, sure.
And,
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's basically Fury is trying to stop the invasion. There's a big Skrull invasion that's happening. He feels like he has to do it by himself, which is so weird for the guy that put together the Avengers. But Kevin Feige has said the Avengers has been officially disassembled. He announced that also at D23.
Yes.
So I feel like it's something that everybody knew, but you needed to see on paper to understand. Like, no, if you look at the team,
Yeah, the
just because
Avengers
we've
as we know
introduced-
it. Yeah.
they don't exist. They don't. And although you've introduced new heroes, that does not automatically make them
No.
Avengers.
Right.
So
Right.
I am happy they at least addressed that, because like we had talked about it too, because like Shang-Chi is like the only movie that even addresses like who's even like on call, and it's like kind of sort of Captain Marvel. I mean, we've talked about this, but the heroes that are there, they're not like at Avengers HQ. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, I'll hop on a Zoom call, sure. Like they're nobody's like watching anything.
And now Hulk is off world. So that, that's it. It is what it is. So
Jeez.
yeah. So Secret Invasion leads in them trying to stop the Skrull, take over the Skrull invasion or whatever, or Kree. Skrull versus Kree, whatever. And that's Nick Fury doing that. Armor Wars. We haven't gotten a lot about Armor Wars.
We've got a logo rebrand is what we got. And that was like
they tried to trick me on social media, I swear. And it was like, all right, did you know Don Cheadle's in Armor Wars, the new series? I'm like, we knew this.
We knew that, right?
Like, how
but
can
you know what I think they changed, Brian? Why they didn't announce? Why they didn't announce at Comic-Con?
What is that?
I think that Rhodey, Don Cheadle, is the lead now. I feel like he was just involved in Armor Wars. I think that because ever since they made this announcement, he's the one saying, he just recently said, we're going to find out more about Rhodey in Armor Wars.
Yeah.
Like who he is. And now I feel like from Secret Invasion leading into Armor Wars, I think that you may have Don Cheadle that's defending or being the one that has to like stop all of these other people. I feel like he's the lead now. At first, I didn't believe that he was the lead in Armor Wars. I just thought he was just a part of the story.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't ask me why.
Well, I mean, he's kind of like the supporting actor king of the Marvel Cinematic Universe at this point. I mean, like, I just kind of figured he liked doing it because he didn't want to commit to a whole other movie. I
So
assumed.
He actually just talked about that too. He said he's officially off contract with Marvel, so now he's doing things as they come, and like if he likes it, he does them.
Yeah.
So
Interesting. Okay.
He's doing this purely off of the I still like the character route, which I love that.
I feel
that's
like you get
refreshing.
people's best stuff that way.
For sure. So you get out of Armor Wars, you go into Loki season 2. The cast was announced for Loki season 2. We're excited for that. Didn't hear any Hyperion news or anything else. I didn't hear anything extra about Loki season 2.
It's just like, hey, we're doing it, and this guy's in it now too.
Yeah.
The
Well,
guy
they're in the
from,
middle of
Everything
filming,
Everywhere
where
All
they
at-
just wrapped
I think so.
filming.
Yeah, they just wrapped. Yeah,
And he's from Everything Everywhere All at Once, and
also from the
yeah.
original Indiana Jones.
he was from the original
Incredible.
Indiana. I thought it was
Yeah, short
tripping.
round.
Yeah, he is from the original Indiana Jones.
We love to hear it.
We had a new Fantastic Four announcement. Just all we really got was they
They
got
confirmed the director. They said,
I whiffed so bad. I thought for sure they would do a whole big reveal of the cast.
well,
And
it's
I
said
was
that
wrong.
Kevin Feige wants to, because they just announced the director, who I don't even think showed up, but
I think they just
Okay.
announced it.
they announced the director, but he wants to run whatever the rumored cast is by the new director first.
Gotcha.
okay.
Before that they make an announcement. So that was
Alright.
that's what the whispers are saying, which makes
Interesting.
sense to me. Why
Yeah.
I'm not going to put together a film if you don't know who your
Yeah.
4 big leads are.
No,
And-
it's smart.
And make sure the guy signing the checks is cool with it. Like
Right.
the guy
Right.
putting them all together and making them work is cool with it.
Yeah.
Right. Or you get a because I do know that they're trying to take Fantastic Four very serious.
Oh, they do not.
I
wanna
mean,
do
They are
that
trying to
again.
get it right.
It has a very high level of scrutiny online.
Mhm.
And I know that there's a lot of folks that are like, I mean, it's like the only Marvel property they're looking forward to. This is anecdotal, but I feel like Fantastic Four has such a wide appeal that they
Yep.
know that
Mhm.
they got to land it.
Yeah.
Well, and having watched the most recent iteration, I get it. I get it.
They failed
Fan-tastic.
1.5 times.
They
2.5.
failed
1.5 times.
considerably.
Yeah.
They failed considerably.
They
The
just
whole-
forgot to put pants on one guy.
They
I mean, it's
did it,
just,
really.
you know,
They really fucked that over.
That's
the whole
the
thing.
biggest faux pas of the whole movie.
rock ass. So Echo also got announced as well. Kingpin will be in that, and we already knew that, but Kingpin will be in that, and he'll be wearing his iconic eye patch. And then you also have a little bit of Daredevil, but Echo will follow the story of Kingpin's. What's his niece?
Yeah,
mean-
technically,
Okay.
Echo, her dad and the Kingpin were partners, and so he always looked at
Yeah.
her
Oh,
as his
okay.
niece.
like
So
chosen
not-
family type
yeah,
situation.
chosen family,
Chosen
100%,
family.
and yeah.
I mean,
So-
those are some of the most compelling parts of Hawkeye, so I'm excited.
Well, and the whole
Yeah.
comic book of Echo is incredibly compelling. So I'm very curious to see how they
Yeah.
play that out.
So they'll do that. I think they said Echo's going to have a more of a serious tone, but we will.
Should.
But,
Yeah,
I mean,
that makes sense.
Daredevil Born Again. So a couple things with this one, 18 episodes. They start filming that soon.
Ooh.
Apparently we're not getting a slapstick Daredevil. That is straight from Mr. Daredevil himself. His name
Charlie
is
Cox.
Charlie Cox.
Thank you. Charlie Cox. That were, he said over the span of 18 episodes, you can do a lighthearted Daredevil because
Yeah.
that source material exists. And he was like, but it's not going to be slapstick comedy because Marvel knows basically what this means to everybody. He also said Kevin Feige changed his life, which I believe, what I'm saying,
100%.
wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
And then so Daredevil Born Again is not a season 4 of the Netflix show. It is
Brand
said
new.
it is a brand new. See, it's a brand.
I
This is
mean-
brand new Daredevil.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you
I,
get your glimpse in She-Hulk, and then
I don't know. I think it's an
Oh.
interesting. This really feels like when you're at a party and you're talking to somebody and you're like, "Oh, well, I mean, like Blade Runner 2049 is the sequel," and they're like, "Well, it's kind of a reboot, isn't it?" And you're like, "Well, no, it continues the story." Is it though? Like, I feel like it's that distinction. It just feels like the annoying guy at the party of like, "No, this is not a continuation. It's just season 1 of a
Yeah.
new show," and you're like. Right, that's what I'm talking about. It's a but I get what they're saying. They want
Yeah,
to
I get it too.
themselves from the Netflix stuff.
Yeah.
I just think it's silly when
even
they
though
say
it's the
it out
same
loud.
suit,
I
but
just wonder. I just wonder, and this is not an answer I expect to have an answer for. This is not a question I expect to have an answer for. I just wonder though if I have to watch this fucking blind guy stumble around and learn his powers again. Like I
No.
really
no.
don't want to do that again.
No. It seems like
No.
from She-Hulk, he already has a full suit, knows who
Yeah,
he is.
yeah.
Him and Kingpin. I think the worst case scenario is he got blipped. He was Daredevil already,
Yes.
got
Oh,
blipped, and
there's
has
a
to
thought.
come back to a brand new world
I mean,
after 5 years.
There's a
I
thought.
feel, Marcus, I completely agree with
That's
you.
a
I
great
feel like that's
point.
the easiest
Yeah.
way to fold these folks in
Yeah.
because then you have a really good reason of like,
Yeah.
why haven't you been around? It's like,
Yeah.
well, I got blipped, buddy,
Yeah,
and nobody called me.
yeah. And it's been about 5 years since the Netflix, a little bit
Right.
over 5 years now, but
Yeah.
so that would make sense. So that's
There's-
Daredevil Born Again. 18 episodes. Still don't know if that's coming out all at once, if that's weekly. That's a lot for weekly.
That's weekly.
Hope you like Daredevil for 2 months.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm over here being like, oh boy, Andor for like, until Thanksgiving. Meanwhile, Marvel fans are going to be like, anyway, the first quarter's Daredevil.
Yeah. First quarter.
Yeah, the
And we
first
got
quarter
the
is
Daredevil
Daredevil.
logo too as well. So I don't know if y'all saw that, but we
I
did
did.
get a new Daredevil
actually like
logo.
that
which
logo.
It looks really slick.
Yeah.
That was all for Daredevil. That puts us at Captain America New World Order with our boy Sam taking over the mantle of Captain
Sam.
America. And loosely the director is like, basically it's the same question that's going to be asked 1,000 times.
Yep.
Sam is not a super soldier. So they're going to push him. They already are pushing him to his limits, making him prove himself because they realize he's not a super soldier. He's just a person who took up the mantle. So they're going to put him through the ringer. It has been announced that the leader will be the main villain. And this is the same leader from the Incredible Hulk, right?
Yeah.
And so he's going to be the main villain. They're also, oh God, what's the actor that's coming back as Falcon? There's the actor that was in,
I can look it up. I know exactly
you.
who you're talking about.
Thank you. He's going to become the new Falcon while Sam is the new Captain America. And I think what's really interesting here is going back to the conversation about Marvel and Disney cleaning up and making full circle moments.
Mm-hmm.
The leader was one of those people that were introduced that if you kind of caught it, you caught it in Incredible Hulk.
And I did not.
Yeah,
Like, full
I definitely
disclosure,
caught
folks, I did not.
Yeah. As soon as the blood dropped in his head, because I watched the old 90s animation Hulk,
Yeah.
I already knew, right? But it was not directly hinted at when you watched the TV show. So when that happened in the movie, I was like, damn, the leader's going to come back. And I think it was rumored he was supposed to come back. But for them to bring back Abomination in She-Hulk and then to bring back Leader in this, I think Disney is trying to close all of their unclosed circles in the past and really are focused on this one contained and controlled universe, like really cleaning this shit up.
They're trying to tie up some loose ends for sure.
Like,
yeah,
they don't want anybody really asking a whole lot of like, what about this and what about this character? They are just really bringing all of that shit to a close. If it could have been closed, it will be closed. So
yeah,
that's
Danny
Captain
Ramirez.
Thank you.
As Joaquin Torres, who will most likely become Falcon.
Yeah, I think they announced that.
They did.
I think that,
Okay.
Yeah,
I think they announced that he is going to be coming back as Falcon, and they're talking about Sam's leadership and what kind of leader is he going to be. I've got higher hopes for this after
I
seeing
can't wait.
it. Reading it on paper, I was like, y'all gonna put him through the ringer again? Like, damn, wasn't that the whole show? But
right. I mean, I feel like, I don't know, they can take all the feedback they got from that show and make a really
they're gonna
banging
make a great movie out of it.
Like,
yeah.
I think they could make a really just phenomenal movie. And actually, I shouldn't say actually, just give runway to Anthony Mackie to be Captain America and not I don't know. I guess I'm just give him his moment rather than the 6 minutes we got of the finale,
right?
Which we all know how we feel about that speech.
I could go on and on.
Just, I'm excited to see someone else's version of that, and I hope it's what we want it to be.
And what I do like about Disney and what they're doing, everybody is saying the same thing. Cap, Sam is Cap. That's what they're saying.
Yep.
Everybody's consistent with no. Sam is Cap now. So when somebody says, "Oh, watch out, Cap," I saw it in the comments. "Oh, watch out, Cap." Blah 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 blah. Somebody was like, "No, Sam is Cap. Sam is the new Captain America," and I like that a lot. So that's Captain America: New World Order. I'm really excited about that, especially going up against the leader. That is such the fact that they're introducing more Hulks is incredible to me. Right? Like you're introducing more and more Hulks. And I do feel as if all Hulk movie or series or something
Yeah.
is coming soon.
You're probably not wrong.
It's hard not to think that. And I also feel like mixing and matching these villains, I feel like the
I like
leader
the mix and
is
match.
you love to remix.
Mhm.
I think it's a perfect. I really like this matchup, and I feel like this is going to be a challenge for Sam. And it's not going to be. What am I trying to say? I feel like a lot of Captain America villains are just like they fall into this pattern of like, oh, I'm going to punch harder than you
Yes.
because I believe this, and no, I'm going to punch you harder because I believe. Even Civil War when we had Tony Stark, like it was pretty much that with like a little bit of spice.
Yep.
So I really hope they do something different with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the only other one who
brains
could
and
match a Captain America in terms of wits was Red Skull, excuse me, was
Right.
Red Skull. And so seeing a different hyper intelligent hero like do that is I love that take.
That's a good point. So then that leads us into Thunderbolts, and we have our Thunderbolts team.
Got him.
Douglas Wagner, would you like to announce the
no.
Thunderbolt team?
Oh no, you go right ahead. Yeah, it's 3 super soldiers and 3 spies. That's who it is.
I'm so goddamn shady, man. So shady. Okay,
do you like super soldiers? No. How about spies? Oh, sure. Well, then half of these people will appeal to you.
Yeah. It's a very interesting matchup considering Abomination is not on this list.
I am shocked.
I'm very shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe he'll be added later. Maybe they just haven't finished the contract agreements. But here's who we have. We have Yelena.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We have our Black Widow. Yelena seems to be in the front in this picture that I'm looking at.
Love it.
We have Bucky Barnes with his new arm, who's Kevin Feige said, a team has to be bad when Bucky is the most stable person on the team.
Super soldier number 1.
That's true. Right. And then you have a fake ass Captain America, US agent, who is
Super soldier number 2.
All right. And then you have Taskmaster, who is on this team, who for some reason they had to re-explain it's the same Taskmaster from Black Widow. Yes, y'all.
Did they really?
They didn't need to do that.
Yes, they had to confirm that it's the same actress that will be playing.
That's so silly.
Taskmaster.
Very silly.
Then you have the Red Guardian, who is going to be in this this as well.
Soldier number 3.
And then you're gonna have Ghost,
Spy
from
2.
Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Is she a spy? Is that a spy?
Spy number 2. She technically was a shield agent.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Good
true.
call out,
That's
Doug.
right.
I forgot she was a shield agent.
That's true. And then the last person they have on the team, but I'm not sure if they're really on the team, is what is her name?
Valentina.
Valentina is on the team as well. Well, she's posed up in the back, so more than likely she just put the team together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the other thing too, is like there are these underlying hints of, is Zemo involved? Is he the villain of this? Did he put them together? Is he the one bringing them together as the common denominator? Like, who knows? So, yeah.
And so basically what Kevin Feige said was I think this is where he did the announcement of the disassembled Avengers, because he said it leaves room for a team like the Thunderbolts to exist because the Avengers aren't there, which kind of aligns with,
makes sense.
Not comically, because that was a completely different reason the Thunderbolts came back, because
I
think they redeemed the legal in the comic book.
The public was disappointed with their response to the crisis associated with Secret Invasion.
Okay.
They were like, hey, you all were on call and these fuckers infiltrated anything, so we can't really trust them anymore. So that's when Norman Osborn, they were like, great, you do it. Like that's basically the theme.
Yeah.
Now my theory is they swapped out Abomination. Now here's my theory. Red Hulk was supposed to be a part of this before the actor died, right?
Okay.
Before he passed away, rest in peace. So my theory is they were going to go with a Red Hulk, and maybe they just haven't replaced Abomination or have to write him in, and then he'll get added later.
I mean, maybe
that's just me, because to have a Hulkish character makes sense to me, and I'm not sure how She-Hulk ends with Blonsky in this whole situation. I'm not sure how that goes, but anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if we are to believe what Blonsky is saying, which he is saying, like, I don't want to be the Abomination. Like, I can turn it on if you want me to, but I don't want to do that. Then if we're to believe that, then maybe he's really leaving it behind.
I doubt it. I think they'll go find his ass on the island somewhere and
Oh,
say, "Be the abomination."
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, for sure. And then one of the last things that got announced, one of the ones I'm excited about is the Marvels. All right.
Yes.
Oh
So
my gosh.
basically, it said that at the end, well, spoiler alert, I guess, but at the end of Miss Marvel,
Yeah.
you see Carol Danvers pop up in, oh God,
Kamala Khan's room.
thank you, Kamala Khan's room.
I almost said her actress's name, Alon Vellani. I was like,
that was what I was thinking too, and I was like, I was combining the
That's
two
not
names together. Pop up in Kamala's room. So basically, they said that some people thought that Kamala transformed into Carol Danvers.
No.
that's an interesting choice.
I know some people were like, she transformed her ability, and I was like, I don't think y'all understood that. But so
No.
basically,
Not
what
quite.
happened is,
Not quite.
apparently a trailer was shown. They did not release the trailer to the public,
They did not.
but in the trailer, Kamala is now in the whatever cockpit with Goose in whatever ship, and they swap places. So
Amazing.
every time that all of the Marvels, which is Monica Rambeau, oh God,
Yep.
Carol Danvers and Kamala Harris, all of the Marvels.
Kamala Khan.
Kamala Harris. Oh Jesus, I am all over. These names are fucking me up today.
No,
Not the
it's
vice
fine.
president of the United States.
I mean, you know.
I am only laughing because I was secretly waiting for you to
Yeah.
say Kamala Harris. So
I
when you
was fucking
finally
it
did, I was like, yes.
I was fucking that up. So basically, all three of them, every time the Marvels use their powers, they swap places with each other.
Oh,
And
shit.
the
What?
whole- yeah,
Mhm.
they swap. Anytime any of them individually use their powers, they swap places with each other and have to work together to figure it out. And basically, the
That's
premise
a cool
is
gimmick.
Monica Rambeau is like, we're a team, we have to work together, and Carol Danvers is like, we are not a team. No, we are not a team.
Yeah.
And that's basically the whole premise, is them trying to figure out why their powers are doing this thing at this time.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
if you're asking me what I'm really excited about, it's kind of hard not to be excited about Wakanda Forever.
Oh
Yeah.
my
I'm
gosh.
also excited about Armor Wars because I love Rhodey, and I really love Don Cheadle as Rhodey.
Mhm.
And I'm really sold on that shit. And then if I have to pick only three, I don't know, what are we doing? Top three?
Doesn't
Sure,
matter.
why not?
Go for it.
God damn it. That's a toss up because I like Daredevil and I also like Captain America. So, and I'm also interested in Quantumania too. So I'm excited about pretty much all of this because I feel like I'm getting answers. So that's kind of where I'm at with shit. But if you're asking me my number one is probably going to be Wakanda Forever, even though I'm going
That
to
makes sense.
bawl my eyes out when I watch it.
I mean, that at this point, that trailer is like an emotional support device
God.
for me.
Can't even watch it twice.
I
Mhm.
mean, I watch
incredible.
it when I feel good. I watch it when I feel bad.
Yeah.
I watch it just to watch. I mean, it's just, man, it
One
makes
of
you
the
feel
fucking
something, and that's
Mhm.
like not even the movie. So,
Right. Right.
whew, I feel like it's going to be a locomotive of emotions when we see that. So and I definitely want to jump in and say that I'm also really excited about Thunderbolts. I think there's such good potential here because my biggest critique of Marvel has always been that you don't keep your villains around. Like there's no tension.
Yeah.
You don't keep your villains around.
sure.
There's nobody. You just move on to the next thing. So it's really cool to almost see the antithesis of that being like, we kept these folks around and they're doing stuff. And I just think there's a lot of good character interactions there. I'm ready for Valentina to turn. I shouldn't say that. Maybe she's on the up and up. I am excited for David Harbour to come back as Red Guardian. He was always some fun comic relief, but man, Florence Pugh, this is your moment. Like I feel like she is staged up and ready to become one of the faces of Marvel. Like I feel like that's what they're doing with this.
That's exactly what they're doing with this, Brian.
Yeah,
Because as much as Bucky Barnes, I guess everybody deemed the rest of them as villains. I never deemed Yelena as a villain.
I didn't.
I
really
don't.
Either.
I agree with you. She's not a villain.
So the two, if we have to say good guys versus bad guys, is Bucky and Yelena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I
Well,
suppose an
Red
argument
Guardian.
could be made that
Ghost.
that Yelena is a villain because she was her intention for going after Hawkeye was one of personal vendetta instead of like you know what I mean. There's an argument. There's an argument that that's why you could see her that way.
Yeah.
I don't, because I think that that's what the writers did of Hawkeye. They did a great job of being like, no, you're gonna like her, but the reason why she's there is not a good reason if you like
Right.
Hawkeye. Like they're gonna make you kind of make that and struggle with that a little bit. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that tone that they took with it. Yeah. I mean, Ghost, again, it's kind of a similar boat. Like she's just trying to get herself so she can heal herself, but she did it in arguably bad ways. Like these are all folks who are misguided to a certain extent, minus, I mean, not to offend my counterpart, but even to a certain extent, U.S. Agent is a similar way of he was selected to be the next Captain America.
Excuse yourself.
And he took that power and abused it to terrible results, but intentionality at the very start was way wrong.
Honestly,
he did get redemption at the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
I mean,
technically.
Yeah. I mean, look, these people are not.
They're complex.
They have a parole.
They have some stuff going on
for sure.
I am curious though how they break this down, who the villain is. I'm curious if it's Zemo. I'm also curious. I also have a theory because I hate U.S. Agent so much. If he's possibly the twist is that U.S. Agent is the villain the whole time, or he has a separate agenda, or whatever.
He was just too goofy to be a main villain to me, and I guess that's my.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, in that respect, he'd definitely be working for somebody. I mean,
as the MC, yeah.
He can't mastermind this. Who knows? Maybe he's working for Doom. But anyway, that's my wild theory that I can't put that there's no evidence.
It was rumored that Yelena is also, I mean, not Yelena. It's rumored that, God damn it.
Valentina.
Jesus, these names today is fucking.
It's all right. We're with you, man.
Valentina is also in that like secret villains. Like there's a comic run of the villains that Doom.
Oh,
like sure. Villains that Doom operates with.
Not Masters of Evil, right?
No, not Masters of Evil. But there's a similar group, and it's Red Hood. It would in that group. If we're looking at the MCU in this run, it would be Red Hood. Somebody from it, not Namor from Wakanda Forever, but the other villain, and then Valentina. And so like there's a group, and maybe even the leader would then be a part of this as well. So that's the rumor is that Doom has a hand in all of that shit, and this would make sense leading up to Fantastic Four.
That'd be a lot.
It would be a lot.
It is a lot.
But they're doing a lot with the story within the story and the series within the main universes that don't really connect to shit.
Well, and we'll know, we'll know come end of this year because we get Wakanda Forever before the year closes out.
Yeah.
So, I would say things I'm excited for. It should come as no surprise, very excited for Daredevil and Echo.
For sure.
I tend to be a Daredevil fanatic, so I'm very excited for Daredevil overall.
I like Daredevil.
I'm on the fence about Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Tell me why.
Yeah.
David Harbour and Red Guardian.
Why? Damn, you are really okay. Explain yourself.
Why are you zeroing in on that?
Yeah.
I zero in on that because of the one. It's gonna sound very petty. It's the comedic relief portion of it. Like, I feel like when you have somebody who's so goofy, and I think it's based on what I've seen so far. Like, I really liked Yelena's and Red Guardian's dynamic in Black Widow. I thought that was well done. But if I take all of these parts and I push them together, U.S. Agent, the last we saw him, he was fucking cracking jokes with Bucky while they were walking in the sewer. And then you also have David Harbour, now he's some sort of comedic relief. And I feel like these are just going to turn into a bunch of goofballs trying to go out and fight crime, which is fine. It's just, I also think the other thing is that, Brian, kind of to your point, there have been other villains we have seen who we could trade out, who I think could be equally as compelling. And you didn't need to because if you look at it, they all feel like they're from the same neighborhood.
I mean, they're
roads,
all
right?
All of them except one are a failed government experiment. Yes, I feel very confident saying that.
Yeah, true. All of them except for one, 100%. And and so I wish there are a couple of folks I'd like to see come back. Sam Rockwell as
oh my gosh, would have been right there,
fucking awesome, and he's right there.
What would he do?
I mean,
Oh my
he
gosh.
could have financed the whole thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's portions of this where, and his motivation could be cool. I just really like Sam
Imagine
Rockwell
a
as an
janky
actor.
Iron
I do
Man
like
suit
Sam
that's
Uh-huh.
trying to
Yeah.
be better than Iron Man. Oh, the
Mhm.
laughs write themselves.
Well,
I mean, yeah.
I guess I am. If I'm looking at the roster and I have to pick it apart, I understand Doug's frustration because I am the Hulk as a comedic, like as the laughing point. I'm not a fan of at all. That's me. I am the Incredible Hulk all day long, guys. So don't mind me. But if I'm looking at the roster, I always thought the Thunderbolts were a mirror of the Avengers, and
Yeah.
I get what you're saying about the lineup. It's two spies and a couple
Three super soldiers, and three
super
spies.
soldiers and three spies. I would have liked if they would have switched some of this shit up. I would have liked to see Red Guardian interact with maybe an Abomination or a Red Hulk. I think his interactions with Bucky, and because him and Bucky will probably remember each other, and him with U.S. Agent will be interesting because just because of those dynamics in themselves. I don't know. Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
he's my only fear is that it'll be, and the other reason why is like, I've also seen what's happened with like the feedback that like I enjoyed Thor Love and Thunder.
I did
I
too.
think the comedy in it was very funny. Like I appreciated it, but I
a lot
see
of people
how
didn't like it.
audiences reacted to it, and the Thunderbolts is kind of a cool thing. And again, it's the same reason why I get very protective of the things that I like. So when there's potential ire that could come in from the peanut gallery, I'm like, why would you do that? You knew they were going to say something. Like it's like you knew they were going to make fun of him when you put him in that shirt. Like it's
I don't know. I mean, I'm totally sitting on the other side of the fence.
That's
where
fine.
Y'all are, and I totally respect the concerns there because I definitely think. Because I mean, I'll even say like if the Thunderbolts just turns into like, isn't this goofy Avengers, and like each of them is trying to make a wisecrack to like one up the other, I wouldn't like that. I would not like that either. I like I liked the David Harbour and Black Widow. In small
he did a good job with the role
doses, and I think for an ensemble like this, I feel like it works more than it doesn't. But like, I definitely get your concerns, and I'm really curious what tone this movie's going to take. Like, are they going to try to go?
That's my question
for
too.
like the most recent Suicide Squad. I feel like that's that's the lowest hanging fruit. But like these characters don't lend themselves one to one to that. Like, I don't know what tone you go for here.
I have a guess. And if I'm looking at these characters, U.S. Agent was goofy as hell, and he was crazy and kind of goofy to me.
I mean, he's deranged.
Maybe deranged is the better. Deranged is a better word. So he doesn't really know his left from his right when it comes to who he is, because he's not Captain America. He's U.S. Agent. Taskmaster is quiet, right? Doesn't talk.
Yeah,
right?
That's an interesting choice.
Skillful. Yelena is Yelena, where she's not her sister at all.
No.
She's kind of straight to the point. There's the comedic relief in David Harbour, and then Ghost. It's been a while since I
have some I have some questions about like because where we left some of these folks too.
It's been years.
Like, I mean, I'd have to rewatch Ant-Man and the Wasp, but I'm pretty sure that the end of Ghost, like, she's not in a great place at the end of this. I feel like.
It's so for Ghost, I think she barely had like a dozen lines, by the way. I don't think she barely had any development.
She had a lot of speaking.
And then at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, it was like, oh, we got to go get the quantum energy so Ghost can be fine and not phase. So it felt like they were like legit trying to help her.
Yes.
So that's why I'm like kind of not like seeing her as a villain, because she was like, look, I'm doing this to live. Like, I don't know what you want.
I don't want to die.
So I mean, I don't know. Like maybe I'm overthinking it, and this is just action comedy, like top to bottom.
It might be like it could be a whole buddy cop, like, but there's 6 of them, like, and I think that's fine. I think some of the character interactions are going to be cool, like watching Bucky do any type of sparring type of thing with Taskmaster is going to be fun to watch because she can mimic other people's fighting styles. So that's really, really cool.
Yes.
I think in the end, it'll. That's the other thing. Every time I've been worried, it's ended up being fine. Like, so it's not a real. And the other thing is, once I get the tone, my brain can make peace with it too. So I think once I get a trailer, I'll feel a lot better about it. But on its face, this looks like it's goofball villains try to fight crime, and that makes me a little uneasy, which I think is okay. But
I have a couple breaking news. The Emmys is on tonight.
It sure is.
There's a few people that won. Michael Keaton won Emmy for Dope Sick.
Oh, I heard that was good.
Congrats to him.
Ted Lasso's Brett Goldstein, he got an Emmy as well.
Gasp shock.
I'm just reading this loosely. Zendaya won Best Lead Actress in a Drama.
I know exactly the episode she won for. Yep.
Is it the solo one where it was her in
Euphoria
with the Jolly Rancher in Euphoria?
It's gotta be. Like I know it in my heart.
Yeah, that just that episode. It was. I watched one episode and that was the episode.
I have not watched
the
single
episode.
Yeah, that show is very heavy. I'm just,
it is.
To be honest with you, it's very.
That's
very
why
heavy.
I have not watched it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of different winners. I don't know if Anyway.
Well, gentlemen, that was D23. We broke down a ton of stuff and covered an absolute what feels like miles of ground. And
writing for a comedy series, Quinita Brunson got
Abbott Elementary.
For Abbott Elementary. She won for Abbott Elementary. Jason Sudeikis won for Ted Lasso, lead actor in the comedy series.
Yeah.
Good for him.
That's cool.
Sweet.
Lizzo won? Damn.
Wow. I love it.
I'm just going to,
no, that's fine. We're going to close this out. So if you want to keep chiming in as we close it out, that's fine. But we're going to close this
Cheryl
out.
Lee Ralph got a damn supporting actress for Abbott Elementary.
Yep. Abbott Elementary. Watch that show.
Good job. Anything besides the Emmy announcements that you all would like to plug?
Chippendale the Rescue Rangers got a goddamn Emmy.
Nothing at this point, Doug.
Okay, fantastic. Other than those who love nerds, because Marcus is okay. Please, Marcus, what would you like to plug?
Don't forget to follow the mantra: never offended, always humble, always. Go buy some gear. Right, go to the website, buy some gear, support the brand. Also, go listen to some music. That's not what I want to play. From here on, henceforward. Okay.
Oh God.
What?
I demand respect on my goddamn name.
Okay.
All right. Don't offer me anything else if it isn't Bubbler. Okay. Bubbler.
Someone has become a sponsored advocate by Bubbler.
I am now an official influencer for the Bubbler brand. I got my box today, so shout out to Bubbler. Listen,
they're not listening.
Listen, natural flavor, 0 grams of sugar, no artificial sweeteners, antioxidant sparkling water. All right. And it has caffeine in it, but it won't leave you all jittery. Okay. And there's a nice sparkle when it touches your throat. It's a great taste, great flavors, great branding. There's benefits to the bubble. Okay. So Bubbler. By Marcus.
This feels like do y'all remember when in the Bulls when Dennis Rodman just started doing his own shit and everybody else was like, hey man, we're trying to rent a championship, and he was like, fuck you, I'm trying to do my own thing.
Listen,
this feels very familiar.
Great defender though.
Great defender.
Great defender. Immune support. Low
Please don't make me mute you to close this out.
Soy free and vegan friendly. Come on, y'all.
Yeah, they're only 5 calories.
Hey, Marcus.
What'd you say, Brian?
Only 5 calories.
Only 5 calories. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. It's Bubbler, baby. I'm a Bubbler boy.
It's water.
No, it's not. Because if you're drinking that Celsius bullshit, that's bad for you. All right. You got to drink Bubbler. That is way better.
Okay. I also would like you to just listen to this podcast, whether you drink a bubble or not. I don't give a fuck. Drink regular water and blow some bubbles in it with a straw before you drink it, if that makes you feel better. So just do whatever you want to do.
I don't know. The Love Nerds, 0 calories. You can just read it. 0 calories.
You can just read it.
You can read it for all of your lifestyle needs, or need to buy some designs. You can go check out thelovenerds.com.
You're not allowed to cover the second key of success because I know what it's going to turn into.
No, it's not. Let me have it, man.
Let him
Damn.
have it. Synergy, man.
I'm trying to get this bag.
Corporate synergy. It's happening right now.
So we have 3 keys to success. So
We
Brian,
sure
would
do.
you like to kick us off with the first key?
Hey, everybody. It's Brian here from the Films in Black and White podcast, and I'm here to tell you, read a book. Do you have a special someone in your life, and
I
you're
do.
just maybe there's some nights where you're like, man, I feel like all we do is watch Netflix. Break that cycle. Say, hey, babe, we're gonna read books tonight, and you just read books in each other's presence. Read a book.
That's so sexy.
Fantastic. All right, get your bag. What's the second
All right.
key?
The second key to success is put down the water for a second and drink some bubbler, right? Because it's vegan friendly. You know what I mean? 0 antioxidant sparkling water, 0 grams of sugar, no artificial sweeteners, won't leave you with the jitters. This is almost just as good as drinking water. Balance it out. Drink you some water and then treat yourself to some bubbler. All right. My personal favorite is going to be the triple berry breezer bubbler,
That sounds
which is in blue. It's so good, right?
Sounds nice.
It's so good, y'all.
Don't do this, Brian.
Bubbler, drink it.
I need you.
I like said it sounds nice.
The third key to success is to wash your ass. You're gonna need real water to do that. Because if you start washing your ass with some bubbler, it's gonna leave a whole sort of situation in all sorts of play. Don't take bubbler showers. It's a bad news. But wash your ass. Look, everybody, we're getting into fall season. It's important before you start to bundle yourself into your house to make sure you're in a good routine, so that way you stay hydrated and washed and nice, and put on some lotion after, so that way as the air starts to get cooler, you don't dry your skin out, because that's bad news as well. We will be back next week with another episode of Films in Black and White. TBD on whether or not it's going to be a movie or news. Probably a movie. We'll get it figured out. But we'll be back next week with another episode. So we hope everybody will join us. But in the meantime and in the between time, stay safe, stay healthy. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And we'll catch y'all next week.
Catch you on the backside. Drink your bubbler. You know what I mean? Love nerds. Noah. Bubbler.
Oh my God. We have a podcast and you put that forth.